Hello, and thank you for joining me again on the Sunday Night Poem with Joe. Uh, I'm going to do one of the great Australian poems for you right now by one of the greatest Australian poets that ever lived. And I mentioned this yesterday, and I asked for people to have a guess at what the poem might be. And I've made the point that it's not going to be The Man from Snowy River. It is, however, written by the same poet, the fantastic, brilliant poet Banjo Paterson. Andrew Barton Paterson. And some of you got it right, and I'll mention you tomorrow, and I'll mention all the people who guessed it right, okay? But it is his other masterpiece, or one of his other many masterpieces, Clancy of the Overflow. And when I came to Australia back in the 70s, I fell in love with Paterson and Lawson and C.J. Dennis and Edward Harrington, a bunch of great Australian poets. And I learned quite a few of their poems, and this is one of them. That was nearly half a century ago. So how much of that, of Clancy of the Overflow, is still retained in here now remains to be seen in the next couple of minutes. And so here we go. I sure hope I remember it. It might get a little bit glitchy here and there. Clancy of the Overflow by Banjo Paterson. Here we go. I had written him a letter, which I did for want of better knowledge, sent to where I met him down the Lachlan years ago. He was shearing when I knew him, so I sent the letter to him, just on spec, addressed as follows, Clancy of the Overflow. And an answer came directed in a writing unexpected, and I think the same was written with a thumbnail dipped in tar. 'Twas his shearing mate who wrote it, and verbatim I will quote it. Clancy's gone to Queensland droving, and we don't know where he are. In my wild erratic fancy, visions come to me of Clancy, gone a droving down the Cooper where the western drovers go. As the stock are slowly stringing, Clancy rides behind them singing, 'cause the drover's life of pleasures that the townsfolk never know. And the bush has friends to meet him, and their kindly voices greet him in the murmur of the breezes and the river on its bars, and he sees the vision splendid of the sunlit plains extended, and at night the wondrous glory of the everlasting stars. I am sitting in my dingy little office, where a stingy ray of sunlight struggles feebly down between the houses tall, and the fetid air and gritty of the dusty, dirty city through the open window floating spreads its foulness over all. And the hurrying people daunt me, and their pallid faces haunt me, as they shoulder one another in their rush and nervous haste, and their eager eyes and greedy, and their stunted forms and weedy. For the townsfolk have no time to grow, they have no time to waste. And in place of lowing cattle, I can hear the fiendish rattle of the tramways and the buses making hurry down the street, and the language uninviting of the gutter children fighting comes fitfully and faintly through the ceaseless tramp of feet. I somehow rather fancy that I'd like to change with Clancy, like to take a turn a droving where the seasons come and go, while he'd face the round eternal of the cash book and the journal. But I doubt he'd suit the office. Clancy of the Overflow, I doubt he'd suit the office. Clancy of the Overflow. Banjo Paterson, thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next week. Cheers for now.